For example, I don't think with my head, but with every cell in my body. This makes my thinking an organic, seamless and integrated process. There is a certain level of integratedness about it because it involves all of me. I don't have much thought in my mind at all unless I choose to think. Nothing has ever been out of place in this existence. Things have only been out of place in human societies. Between this piece of life and that piece of life, there can be a comparison. But for the intelligence that is making all life happen, there is no context, no comparison, because there is no other. You cannot say whether it is now in place or not. It is always in place. There is no other way for it to be. And the pursuit of yoga is just this, moving from this small head full of information to a cosmos of intelligence. What a tragic choice people so often end up making, choosing the finiteness of the human brain over a universe of infinite knowing. Sadhana. Just work at removing from the mind the idea that thought is intelligence. The whole process of creation, from a single atom to the cosmos, is a fantastic expression of intelligence. Right now, within your own body, there is a throbbing intelligence that is the very source of creation. With the overrated intellect that you own, can you even understand the activity of a single cell in your body in its entirety? The first step towards moving from the trap of intellect to the lap of a larger intelligence is to recognize that every aspect of life, from a grain of sand to a mountain, a drop to an ocean, from the atomic to the cosmic, is a manifestation of a far greater intelligence than your minuscule intellect. If you take this one step, life will start speaking to you like never before. Believing versus seeking. Once it happened. On a certain day, 2 Irishmen were working on the street in front of a London brothel. They saw a Protestant minister coming their way. He rolled up his collar, put his head down and quietly slipped into the brothel. 2 men looked at each other and shrugged. See, what else can you expect from a Protestant? They continued to work. After some time, a rabbi came by. He had a muffler around his throat, almost covering his face. He ducked into the brothel too. The men were deeply pained and shook their heads sadly. What has happened? Times have gone bad. A religious man in a brothel. Why is this happening? After a while, the local bishop came along. He looked this way and that, tightened his cloak around himself, slipped into the brothel. One of the men turned to the other and said, "One of the girls must be really sick." The moment you get strongly identified, you lose your perspective on life. The ideas of good and bad, right and wrong are all your mental constructs. They have nothing to do with life as such. What was considered to be moral 100 years ago is intolerable today. What you think is very good, your children despise. Your ideas of good and bad are just a certain level of prejudice against life. The moment you get identified with your limited ideas of morality, you become completely twisted. Your intellect functions around these identifications in such a way that you never see the world as it is. If you want an element of spirituality to enter your life, the first thing you must do is drop these rigid ideas of virtue and vice and learn to look at life just the way it is.